Welcome back. In this video, I will show you how to install Kubernetes on Ubuntu 22.04. Along with it, I will also show how to install Prometheus and Grafana stack so that we can use the same Kubernetes cluster for monitoring too. I'm using three virtual machines. Ubuntu is already installed on it. I gave around 6 GB of RAM for each machine and two virtual CPUs. You can follow the same pattern in any cloud provider, DigitalOcean, Linode, AWS, or even on your local machine. Based upon your machine configuration, you can change the RAM and CPUs. And I have created a Git repo for the complete installation instructions. I will give the link in the description below. You can follow it. If you know how to follow the instructions and create Ubuntu machines, you can stop watching the video, you can follow the document and install yourself. For anyone who want to see how the installation will go on, you can proceed with the video. The first thing we need to do is disable the swap. So I have already disabled it, if you can see here. So I have commented the swap line. I did the same thing for all the three machines. And I have a client machine where we will install Helm and we'll also copy the config of the cube installation so that we can access the cluster from my local machine. So let's begin. The first thing is to install the necessary tools. I'll just copy and paste the commands in each of the machine. This is the control plane. And this is the worker node 1. And this is the worker node 2. Now the GPG keys, copy and paste on all the three nodes. And then the report details for cryo. And now the GPG key for Kubernetes. And the repo for Kubernetes. Once I have added all the GPG key and repo details, I'll update the repository once again. Now install the cryo and the Kubernetes versions 1.27. So while this is happening, I'll go to Helm. As I am using a Ubuntu machine, I'll copy this report details and the installation steps and I'll paste it on my client machine. So the Kubernetes and CRI-O installation is completed on all the three worker nodes. Now I will reload the CRI-O daemon and the necessary services. And next I will hold the versions so that they will not get updated whenever I run a update command. And now I will enable the IP tables bridge. Now this step I need to do only on the Kubernetes master. So I'll copy this command, the init command, and paste it on the control plane. So it will take some time to download the necessary images and configure. Meanwhile, I'll see the Helm installation. And I also need kubectl. Install kubectl on Linux. Copy this command. So once it is downloaded, I'll install it. Meanwhile, I'll check the okay, it is completed. So it's working fine. So initialization is also succeeded. Now I'll copy these three lines and I will run it on the control plane. It's copying the admin.conf to the local .kubeconfig file, and then I'll copy the join command and I will paste it in the clients. I will run this as a sudo user. We need to run this command as sudo. So before running this, I will initialize the, so these commands I already ran. So I'll copy these three commands and I'll paste it in the control plane. So this is done. Now I'll go and initialize the join command in the worker nodes. So till now I have installed Helm and kubectl on the client machine and CRI-O and Kubernetes on the control plane and the two worker nodes. Now I am running these commands from the control plane node. Kubectl get all. So everything is up and running. There are still some images getting downloaded and the pods are getting created. So meanwhile, I'll go and install the metric server. I'll copy the first three commands and paste it on the control plane node server. Okay, metric server is also installed. So I'll give you some time for the metric server to download all the necessary images and the pods getting created. Meanwhile, I'll copy the config file from the control plane server to my local client machine. So for that, if I go into .cube folder, I can see the config file cat config. So I need to copy all the contents and I'll create a folder in my local home directory. And paste it. So now I'll try to run the kubectl command from my local machine. I can run the commands easily. So the metric server is also working fine. Top nodes, top pods. I will configure the bash autocomplete. For that, I'll go to Kubernetes cheat sheet. I'll run this line and then copy these two lines. If you are using bash, you need to run this one. I'm using Z shell in the client machine. Paste these two commands and then okay, now if I run the command, so I can see all the APIs there available and they are in true status. So with this, the Kubernetes installation is completed. So if you want only the Kubernetes installation, so it is completed now, you can end the video. And if you also want to see how to install Prometheus and Grafana and configure them and troubleshoot them, then you can proceed further. For this, I'll go and search for news stack. I'll click the first one. I already installed Helm on my machine, client machine, so I can copy these two commands and run here. So I'm getting this warning because there are some permissions which I need to change for the config value. So .q. So the config is having more read permission, so I'll change it. See, sorry, chmod 400 config. So right now I only have the read access. Now I'll try to run the commands once again. Okay. Next, to install the Helm chart. For this, I'll create a new namespace. As of now, these are the default namespaces in the cluster. I'll create a new namespace name monitoring. Monitoring is created. Now I will change this command so that this will be created in the monitoring namespace. And also I'll give the name of this install as monitoring. So I'll give some time for it. So the stack has been installed. I'll copy this command. So all the necessary pods are running. So still there are some pods initialization gone, and Grafana deployment is still yet to be completed. So I'll give few more minutes for this to completely get installed and get with a steady status. Now everything is up. You can see already status in the pods and deployments and replica set and the stateful set. Everything is working fine. Now I need to expose the Grafana and Prometheus endpoints. Get svc -n monitoring. So for Prometheus, I need to expose this one. I'll copy the service name and I will edit it. I'll come down and I'll change the cluster IP to node port. I'll repeat it once again and I will give a port which is easy to remember 32500 and save once again. And now I'll also hit this service and repeat the same process. I'll change the type from cluster IP to node port and change it once again. And for this one, I'll give 3 to 600. I'll give this one as 32501 and this one 32500 because we need to port forward from 1990 to a node port. So let's go to the browser and the IP. I can take any node IP. So 10.154.1.111 followed by 32500. So this is Prometheus. It's working fine. And next 10.154.32.600. So Grafana is also working, and for this the default username and password is admin and prom PRATOR. So prom hyphen operator login. So you can see it's working fine. For Prometheus, we need to come to status and click on targets to see if every endpoint is healthy or not. So as of now, you can see most of them are in blue, stating that they are healthy, but these red ones are not healthy. So we need to fix this one to make sure that all the endpoints are working fine. For this, we need to be in the control plane node. I'll first go and fix the kube proxy. Kube proxy I can even fix from my client machine. Okay, get config map -n kube system. So I need to edit the config map kube proxy. Edit cm-n kube system followed by the, and in this I need to go to the matrix binding address and give 0.0.0.0. Click and save. Take it to, so we can see here there are already 3 pods running in the kube proxy deployment. So I need to delete this one by one. So, system. Next, this one. Let's see. And the next one starts with P. So new pods have been created. If I come and refresh here, they should come one by one. So 1 of 3 is up, 2 of 3. So the kube proxy is fixed. Now let's go and fix the core DNS. I'll do the same thing. I'll come here and delete this core DNS. Okay, delete kube system. So core DNS pods also created once again. So I'll give some time for core DNS. Now let's go and fix the etcd. For this I need to be in the control plane server. cd/etc Kubernetes manifest. So these are the 4 files. I'll edit cd file, and in this file I need to change this one 2381, because if you can see here at cd 2381, this connection is getting refused, so I need to remove 127 and give 0.0.0.0. So core DNS issue is fixed, and I'll wait for some time. So until that, I'll go and edit the kube scheduler. Kube scheduler. For this one, I need to edit the bind address and change it to, and even the host to 4 zeros. I'll refresh once again. The final one is control manager. Same thing, I need to change the bind address from 127 to 0. Now let's wait for some time for all the 3 unhealthy endpoints to come up. So everything is fixed now. All the core DNS, kube control manager, etcd, proxy, scheduler, everything is fine. Now you can go and configure the rules and Grafana dashboard based on the metrics. So this completes the installation of Kubernetes on Ubuntu 22.04. So to recap once again, in the client mission, I have installed kubectl, Helm, and downloaded the Prometheus stack and installed it on the Kubernetes control and install it on the Kubernetes cluster. Now coming to the control plane and the worker nodes, I have used 6 GB of RAM on each machine and 2 CPUs. I have used 1.27.3 Kubernetes version and Cryo as the container engine. So if you have any doubts in this installation process, please let me know in the comment section. I'll try to answer them. And also I'll link the GitHub repo link, Helm, and the necessary installation links in the description below. I hope this video is useful for you. If you like this video, please share and subscribe to my channel, me Ali. Thank you and see you in the next one.